Hi, my name is Mike Bowers, and I'm a professional car buyer for a family-owned dealership here in Reading, Pennsylvania. I normally buy about 100 cars in a month's time, and while that may sound like a lot, the truth is I look at well over 1,000 between auctions and car dealerships and wholesalers I deal with. There are 7 main steps that I use to look at cars that I buy to make sure that I get the quality that I want. I'd like to share with you how I do it, so that you can do it too. The first step that I do when buying a car is to get the Carfax. For around $50 a month, you can get unlimited access to reports, and it's well worth it if you're looking to buy a vehicle that's worth $10,000 or $15,000. Now, I have the app on my phone, and with as many cars as I buy, it's a great time saver. I can simply come to the vehicle, scan the VIN, and have access to the history of the vehicle instantly. If you're on a dealership's lot, ask for the vehicle to be pulled out of line. Give yourself a little bit of room to walk around the vehicle and make sure you can see what you're looking at. The second step is a walk around. Now, I like to start under the hood. Most cars today that you buy are either front wheel or all-wheel drive, so the really important parts of the vehicle are in the front. I like to pop the hood. Almost all cars made today will have the VIN number either stamped or stickered onto the 2 front fenders. Also, there's bolts that hold the fenders to the front of the vehicle. Those bolts are painted over from the factory when the vehicle's painted, and if that paint is broken, I can tell those bolts have been turned. From there, I like to make my way down the sides. Gaps and lines between the panels of the car should fit well. You should not see a great difference between, say, a 1-inch gap on one side and a 1/2-inch gap on the other. That's another good tip to know that there has been some bodywork performed on the car. I will check the tires on a vehicle. I know it sounds something that's simple and it's probably something you've done in the past, but it's an expensive item. Also, on a vehicle like this Lexus, this is an all-wheel drive. The tires should be matching and should be close, if not exactly the same tread front to rear. The all-wheel drive systems in these vehicles are very sensitive, and by replacing 2 tires at a time instead of 4, you can damage the all-wheel drive system and the performance of the vehicle. There are many stickers placed in the door jambs of these vehicles by the manufacturer. They tell you the weight rating, they give you the VIN number of the vehicle and some safety information. Make sure those stickers are still in place. A lot of body shops, if the vehicle's had a serious side collision, will remove them in order to do their paint work. I want to look to make sure the bumper cover meets the rear quarter panels well, that I don't see any fasteners or bolts missing here on the inside of the fender well. And I like to pop the tailgate or open the trunk. I want to make sure that the taillight assemblies and other parts here in the back are bolted firmly in place, that I can't see any evidence that those things have been removed or replaced, or that we're missing weather strips or moldings here along the back of the car. I want to show you what I mean about looking for lines on a car and paying attention to the front end. This is a Honda that we took on trade. As soon as I walk up to the vehicle, I can tell that this side of the hood does not close properly to the fender. There's definitely a gap between where it should sit and where it's sitting, even though the hood is latched. We can see that here on the right side of the vehicle, the factory VIN sticker is still in place. But if I come over to the left side, that sticker is missing. This is an aftermarket fender on the car. Also, the bolts on this car have been turned. It's very obvious that either a ratchet or wrench has been on them. It's broken the white paint underneath and also the paint on the top of the bolts. Also, if I take a look, I can notice that the fender and the headlight don't quite line up. A lot of times when aftermarket parts are used, they're just not made to the same specs as what was originally built on the car. All right, back to the car that hasn't been in an accident. What I like to do is feel the hood. When it's possible, make sure the car has not been warmed up. You really want to take a look at a car when it's cold. Things from noises to engine rattles to other things can really be disguised after a car's had a chance to get up to operating temperature. Then come on in and start the vehicle. As soon as it has a chance to start, give the car a little gas. Take a look in your rearview mirror, or better yet, try to have someone with you and make sure that there is not excessive smoke from the tailpipe. Cars today are made to burn very, very efficiently, and any kind of discharge of excess smoke generally means an internal engine problem. The next thing I could tell you to pay attention to is once you get inside the vehicle, and this is really important. When you start the car, you want to make sure that the check engine light illuminates for a split second and then turns off. It is really, really easy for someone today to go to an auto parts store and buy a scanner that's capable of wiping out a computer. And I see this all the time. We get a father and son that'll come into the lot and trying to sell a car that they bought last week on Craigslist. Here, the guy they bought the car from knew his way around a car a little bit, went somewhere, picked up a scanner, and cleared the check engine light. Next thing you know, Junior owns the car for 3 days and every light on the dash comes on. Now he's stuck with a car that he can't fix and honestly is worth a fraction of what he paid for it. So pay attention when you start the car. It's very, very important. So get in and try every button you can. Make sure that the navigation system turns on. Make sure that the sunroof operates properly. Make sure that all your windows go up and down. Turn your heated seats on. Give it a minute and make sure they're warming. It may seem tempting to look at the windshield from the outside, but the truth is you can see a lot more from the inside when you're not subject to all the glare from the sun. Make sure you don't see any cracking or chips. When you start your test drive, it's very, very important to turn down the stereo, turn down the heat and air conditioning, eliminate as many noises inside the car as you can. I want to be able to hear how the vehicle's performing. I want to hear the engine, I want to hear the transmission, I want to hear the tires or wheel bearing noise or any kind of noise or feeling from underneath the vehicle. It's almost impossible to do when you have the radio cranked up. Also, resist the temptation to drive the car as hard as you can. We get a lot of customers who think that by mashing the accelerator that they test the transmission, when in fact you make it easier for the transmission to shift through its gears. Drive the car normally. In fact, drive it a little easier than normal. Force the car to upshift and downshift in low speeds. That's generally where you can identify a slip or a hiccup in the transmission. Don't be afraid to get into the steering a little bit. Steer the car back and forth. If a car has any noises up front, you will tend to hear them come and go as you steer from side to side. You may think you're driving a little erratically, but it's okay, and chances are you're not going to get pulled over. It's only happened to me twice. Take some time when you're away from the area where you're buying the car to stop the car, and very important, put the car in reverse. Decide if you like how the vehicle rides and drives. You might find that you really, really like what a car looks like, but don't like the way it drives and don't like the way it performs. Don't be afraid to get into the brakes a little bit more than normal. Stop a little hard and stop a little short. See if you feel any kind of vibration or shudder as you're braking. See if the steering wheel shakes or you have vibration coming up through the vehicle as you apply the brakes. On the highway, noises become much more apparent, such as worn tires or unbalanced tires. Put the car through its paces in the way that you normally drive, which can be around town, but will also most likely be on the highway. You want to make sure, again, that the vehicle does everything that you need it to do. When I get back from a test drive, now's another time when I like to get under the hood. I like to leave the vehicle running, and now that it's had a chance to be warm and run, take a moment, smell, and listen. Most likely, you won't smell anything, but if you smell a warm, sweet smell like antifreeze, or a smoky smell like burning oil, it's certainly cause for concern. Doesn't necessarily mean there's a major problem, but something you may want to have looked into further before you buy the car. I do this every day for a living, and there's only so much I can tell from looking here under the hood. So if I smell some of those smells, I may take some time to see if I can have one of our technicians check out the vehicle before I make the purchase. I'd like to give you one more really important tip. After you get back from a test drive, come back to the tailpipe of the vehicle and run your finger just along the inside. You're going to get some fluid, but you want to make sure that it's clean, that it should look like clean water. If a vehicle's burning oil, which is a really common problem in a lot of cars today, your finger will be covered with a black, goopy substance that really is oil that has not been burned properly by the engine. If you see that, the best advice I can give you is to walk away. There are some other minor things that I look at in a vehicle, but as far as the big issues, that about covers it. If you like what you've seen in the steps that I've told you, all that's left is the price. And before you look at any vehicle, I'd like to give you some advice on how you can know what a fair price is and what you should pay for your next car. Spend some time and get online. Get on sites like autotrader.com, cars.com, Edmunds, Kelley Blue Book. Find out what the fair value of your vehicle is. I would also tell you that book values don't necessarily mean today what they used to. Skip so much time concentrating on book values and take a look at the actual market for vehicles. You can compare 20 or 30 of them side by side with a few clicks on your mouse. See what the going rate is for the option, the mileage, the year, the color, even the color of the interior that you like. Make yourself educated. So that's it. Those are the 7 main steps to buying a used car. There's no mystery or magic to it. It's not overly complicated. Take your time, pay attention to what you see and the things I've told you. You can buy a great car.